I was sipping the last of my morning espresso when the message arrived. Everyone has decided you're not invited to Christmas this year. It was from my mom. No greeting, no context, just those words. The phone glowed against the warm, amber sunrise, filtering into my high-rise apartment. For a second, I froze, staring at the screen, my finger hovering over the respond button, pulse racing more than I cared to acknowledge. I set the phone aside next to my work tablet and breathed out steadily. The aroma of rich, roasted ground still hung in the air, comforting and sharp, a sign that I'd grown accustomed to finding comfort in my own company. Beyond the windows, the bustling metropolis sprawled out below, vibrant and chaotic, yet here on the 23rd level, all was serene, orderly, perfectly arranged, just as I preferred. I smoothed a crease from my tailored linen top and adjusted my platinum bracelet, etched with a meaningful date known only to me, a quiet marker of personal triumph. It had been ages since I'd joined them for the holidays, ages since I'd forced smiles around their dinner table, while my mother invented fresh ways to make me feel out of place. Even so, this note struck deeper, colder, irrevocable. I curved my lips in a subtle grin. They had no clue about my contributions, the prices I'd covered, or what I planned to reclaim. This holiday season, they would finally witness my transformation and the true expense of pushing me away. I was 23 the final time I returned home for the holidays. The air carried notes of spiced cloves and lingering bitterness, my mother's signature blend. That previous year, I'd juggled dual shifts in the Windy City, funneling most of my earnings homeward to sustain their household after father's health costs depleted their savings. I believed it counted. I believed I counted. Yet that evening, amid clinking crystal and forced cheer, the truth dawned. "Sophia," my mother declared, her tone honeyed yet piercing like frost, "perhaps if you prioritized family over your own ambitions, you'd prove more valuable." She delivered it openly, in front of my sibling Alex, his partner Lena, and even Nana, who merely gazed at her cooling dessert. My fingers chilled, clutching my glass of water so firmly I feared it would shatter. "I forwarded funds just days ago," I murmured, "for father's treatment sessions." Mother let out a sharp, mocking chuckle. "Darling, that scarcely touched our daily needs. Perhaps reserve your generosity elsewhere." The sting landed heavier than anticipated. Every hardship, the endless hours, skipped meals, postponed aspirations, brushed aside like dust on her cardigan. Once the meal ended, I stepped outdoors. Gentle flakes drifted down, muffling the world in hush. Nana trailed after me, her wrap clutched against her fragile frame. "She's unchanging," Nana murmured, slipping an item into my hand, her antique gold pendant. "Refuse to let her isolate you. Someday you'll create your own glow." I examined it in my vehicle later. Tucked within was a faded slip of paper. "Persist in constructing, despite their efforts to dismantle." That evening, I gathered my remaining belongings and headed back to the urban sprawl. Tears blurred the roadways until I vowed never to return without proof of worth, something undeniable, untouchable. Unbeknownst to me then, that vow would shape my core. Each extra hour, every setback, every solitary evening traced back to that snowy night, her encouragement igniting a steady fire within. Rebuilding lacked drama. It involved harsh office lighting, quick meals from packets, and constant demands on my time. I accepted a front desk role at a modest design studio in the city, not prestigious, but sufficient for basics and survival. After closing, I'd linger, studying the architects as they crafted plans resembling visions rendered in lines and shadows. One evening, my supervisor, Ms. Whitaker, with her silver waves and piercing gaze, noticed me jotting from a shared reference book at reception. Interested in mastering design? She inquired, arms folded, a hint of amusement. I paused, then affirmed, "Absolutely, madam. Formal education isn't feasible right now." She appraised me briefly, then replied, "Then absorb it here in spare moments, but commit fully if you do." That shaped my training. I absorbed it all: sketching, programs, cost estimates, client interactions. I stumbled repeatedly before my work gained coherence. Certain evenings, exhaustion claimed me at my station, face against drafts and dried spills from beverages. Yet gradually, arduously, I improved. 2 years on, I proposed my debut project, a neighborhood eatery overhaul. The owners adored it. At the grand opening, they embraced me amid joyful tears, claiming I'd crafted a space evoking belonging. Their sincere appreciation mended fractures my mother's remarks had inflicted. Ms. Whitaker advanced my position, then subtly guided me further. You possess a talent for spaces that restore, she noted once, perhaps from seeking your own sanctuary. 4 years afterward, I launched my studio, Bennett Creations. I chose a straightforward, understated title. I shared little digitally, kept family uninformed. Alex messaged sporadically seeking aid. Mother rang during shortages, yet none inquired about my well-being. I ceased volunteering information. I mastered operating discreetly. Triumph, I discovered, required no spectators. Then arrived the pivotal call. The medical center regarding father's outstanding charges, $70,000 outstanding. Mother's account linked but limits exhausted. I acted instantly. I transferred the sum that evening. No note, no proof, merely a silent resolution to an enduring wound. I convinced myself it honored him, not them. Yet inwardly I sought validation, proof that I could ascend independently of their endorsement. Weeks later, an envelope came, scripted by hand. Mother's elegant loops, precise as always. Gratitude for your support, however we've concluded it's preferable you avoid holiday gatherings. It creates tension. I recall absorbing those phrases in stillness. Then a gentle laugh escaped, not harsh, simply liberating, like releasing a burden. They could retain their festivities. I possessed serenity. And shortly, something far more radiant than validation. Roughly a fortnight prior to the holidays, Alex's contact appeared on my device. Months had passed without word from him, post-mother's note. Hi, Soph, his voice overly enthusiastic. We're gathering at Mother's soon. She'd appreciate your presence. I nearly chuckled. She'd appreciate it, despite prior events. Curiosity prevailed nonetheless. Of course, I replied evenly, count me in. Arriving at their property that weekend, the residence appeared diminished in memory. Worn exterior, peeling trim, holiday illuminations faintly buzzing to remain aglow. I lingered momentarily, recalling countless approaches to those stairs seeking comfort, met only with harsh scrutiny indoors. Mother greeted at the entrance, her smile strained. Sophia, you've altered. Indeed, I responded casually. Time has passed. The sitting area unchanged, faded seating, familiar portraits, save mine absent from the shelf. A deliberate void where I once fit. Alex shifted uncomfortably. We discussed father's treatment costs. I settled them, I stated, easing into the recliner, some time back. Mother stared, you did. 70,000, I confirmed steadily. Direct to the facility. Confirmation should have reached you. Hush descended. The mantel clock's rhythm grew prominent. I presumed awareness. I continued eyeing her, given your thoughtful correspondence afterward. Her complexion drained. Sophia, that wasn't intended. I understand its intent. Alex scratched his neck. Hold on, 70,000 readily available. I offered a mild smile. Not readily, acquired, labored for, established. I lead Bennett Creations. Specializing in premium revamps, businesses, homes, complete transformations. Valuation around 6 million. Quiet intensified, mother's lips parted wordlessly. She regarded me as if searching for the dismissed younger self, the one deemed inadequate. Yet that version had vanished. I surveyed the space. Bulbs flickered once more, weak and erratic. Amusing, I murmured softly. I've covered utilities here too. Auto payment from 2018. Must have overlooked cancellation. Her gaze widened. You've been. Correct, I cut in, sustaining your illumination despite deeming me unfit beneath it. Silence persisted. Alex averted his eyes, regret evident. I rose, straightening my jacket, no intent to argue. Merely to conclude this phase. I approached the panel access, hesitating. This dwelling, these bulbs, sustained by me for years. Time perhaps to experience absence. With calm precision, I switched the main off. Darkness enveloped, hushed and deep. Street glow alone seeped through slats. Mother breathed, Sophia, please. I faced her, composed, not harsh. Not severing ties, Mother, simply illustrating. Strength originated from me always. You merely refused acknowledgement. I moved to the exit, steps echoing lightly on flooring. Happy holidays, I uttered softly yet firmly. Perhaps next season merit the glow. The crisp exterior air felt purer than ever. Keys chimed like liberation. No backward glance, finally unnecessary. Days later, Alex appeared at my workplace. He seemed ill at ease in the sleek entrance of Bennett Creations, amid refined decor and polished elegance unforeseen. Impressive, he whispered, scanning. You've truly created this, I nodded with courteous warmth. Espresso, he declined politely. Mother's distraught since your departure. Electricity remains disconnected. She refuses assistance. Views it as penance, I reclined slightly. Penance suggests remorse. Present, he exhaled, unspoken yet evident. She's mortified, all of us. I observed closely, truthful yet incomplete accountability. Mortification differs from growth. Mere unease, he fidgeted downward. She inquired about aid, restore service perhaps. A soft chuckle emerged, not derisive, weary. Years of diligence, contributions, striving for worthiness. Yet my single assertion makes me antagonist. No reply. I approached the expansive view of the urban landscape. Towers gleamed in mild winter light. Assistance forthcoming, I stated at last, with stipulations. He glanced sharply. Stipulations, indeed. For mother's benefit, professional counseling required, not casual talks masked as faith. Address why dominance masqueraded as affection. Alex frowned, and myself. Cease relaying her words, I replied, facing him. Maturity demands independence. Forge your path, your traditions. End her influence on your choices. He began protest, then relented. Additionally, I added gently, upon restoration, convey temporariness. No longer your sustainment, figuratively or otherwise. Warmth must be merited. Alex assented gradually. You've evolved. No, I countered, returning to my station. Merely cease self-reproach for progress. He offered a faint, strained grin, departing. Door sealed, I remained in the gentle rhythm of my achievements, the world forged from every rejection endured. No exultation, no malice, equilibrium. Finally, not pursuing affection or praise. Dictating boundaries for all. Watching evening lights emerge, I pondered, true strength lies not in dominance but perspective. Weeks elapsed before mother's next contact. Not digital or pleading call, a handwritten note, script less steady as if labored. Sophia, truth in your words, unclear when affection blurred into dominance. Perhaps fearing loss drove closeness. Yet I lost you regardless. Counseling begun per your guidance, more challenging than imagined. Someday return home willingly, not dutifully. With affection, mother. I lingered at my dining surface, fingering the lines. Urban hush beyond pains, flakes descending like absolution. Readiness for embrace uncertain. Anger faded, replaced by weariness and faint sorrow. A gentler melancholy, non-abrasive, merely present like a distant resonance of past ache. I retrieved Nana's gold pendant from storage, creak as opened, aged message intact. Persist constructing despite dismantlers, tears welled unexpectedly as I smiled. Her guidance, my direction, vow, shield. Now a completed arc, constructed, crumbled, resurrected. That weekend, I motored to the former residence. Bulbs shone warmly, reliably, piercing the flurries. I paused curbside, observing, no urge to approach or enter, satisfied knowing sustenance now hers. I murmured to the breeze, more than audible, "Happy holidays, mother." Then reversed, clasped the pendant close, and departed toward my cell-phoned horizon. For perhaps uninvited to their celebration, I'd forged a sanctuary where tranquility endured.